to be part of jumpstarting Nigeria's economy by participating in the first Nigerian Economic Stakeholders Summit. The summit is to be declared open by the Speaker, Federal House of Representatives, Honorable Yakubu Dogara, Special Guest of Honor, Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun, Chairman of the event, Chairman Senate Committee on Finance, Senator John Eno, Chairman House Committee on Banking and Finance, Honorable Jones Onyeyeri, Chairman FIRS Babatunde Fowler, DG Pencom Chinelo Anahu Amazu, MD Sterling Bank Yemi Adiola, MD Infinity Trust Mortgage Bank PLC Banjo Obalaye, CEO Fortis Microfinance Bank Tiko Okoye, and many other distinguished guests are expected to be there. Come and be part of the first Nigeria Economic Stakeholders Summit. For more information, log on to www.netsummit.com.
All right, welcome back. In case you're just joining us, is Nigeria's #1 financial newsroom. I did say at the beginning of the show that I'll be talking with the Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris. Welcome to you, sir, and thank you for joining me on today's edition of the show.
Thank you, Nancy.
How you doing, sir?
Fine, thank you.
You are dapper. You really look nice, I have to say that.
Thank you so much. Good morning, Nigerians.
Okay, let me start. When are the workers, federal government workers, getting alerts? Or as you're seated now, they are getting alerts. Have you paid salaries?
Thank you very much. We made a promise. Actually, not we made a promise. Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari, His Excellency, made a promise that workers' welfare is of paramount importance to him and to his government. And therefore, in line with that, and to realize and actualize that promise, he gave a directive, not just last month, a standing directive that federal government staff must get their salaries on or before 25th. And that is exactly what we implemented last month. And we started as a test. We cleared all the hurdles. And I believe today's what? 25th.
That's why I started with the question.
Yeah. I believe soon, or as we're sitting here, alerts are rolling out. We have done all that we need to do as an office, as the Treasury, to make sure that staff salaries are paid, and that we are complying. And naturally, we can't back down on that. We have started since last month, and this month we are going to replicate it, and it will continue on and on.
So that means by the end of today,
maybe as we're talking now, because we had finished since last night. By midnight, I was phoned that, look, as far as our work is concerned, it was over. So it's now for the partners in the whole process, the CBN, the deposit money banks, to give alerts to respective account holders, the civil servants. So we have made it again this month.
This month.
Yeah.
All right. The Treasury single account. You know, that is one, I would say a phrase now. Treasury single account. Treasury single account.
Yeah.
I know it's like your baby. What exactly is this?
Indeed, it is our baby. It is the baby of the federal government, but more importantly, we are the driving institution. The Treasury single account, like I always say, is simply a consolidation, a consolidated account into which all resources of government are supposed to be viewed, supposed to be seen, and it could be a single account, and it could be multiple accounts that are linked together. And that is exactly what we've been able to achieve over the last, since the implementation started, sometimes last year. We've been able really to get well over 1,000 MDAs enrolled, and over 900 and slightly above 900 accounts open. We are still opening because there could be some accounts which are not operational accounts, but the most important thing is we have opened and linked MDAs to their accounts, to their sub-accounts with CBN, and they are enjoying at the comfort of their offices, operating their accounts normally. So as far as we are concerned, so far so good, and that is why there is no hue and cry anymore. I believe if you were to be an agency of government, you would have seen and attested to what I'm saying, that look, you are operating your account as normally.
Why is it that this thing about TSA is not really so clear? Because it seems that a lot of people have said, okay, we have like over 3 trillion naira. The last time I heard the Minister of Finance talk about the TSA, that we have over 3 trillion naira in the TSA now. Some people will say, why should we go and borrow? We have money. Does it work that way?
Yes, there is really a very urgent need for clarification. And I think if anybody could be the most reliable person to give that clarification, it's my office, I mean, my humble self. The TSA, really, the objective was to bring about all accounts, which hitherto were with commercial banks, together onto a single window. And that is exactly what we've been able to do. These resources, these monies we pull together onto TSA are resources of agencies of government, MDAs. And they are not free resources. They are not free funds, whereby somebody will say, yes, we have this quantum of money that we can fund our budget, we can utilize it for projects. Of course, these are monies of agencies of government, and they are using it to operate normally. That doesn't mean there could not be some balance. Yeah, as at the time of the last count, I think we had over a balanced total inflow. Let me use the word inflow of slightly over 3 trillion naira. And this, I repeat, does not mean that these are free funds where we will begin to utilize for our 2016 budget, as is being alleged to be said by some other people.
So it's not, it's all inflows from...
It's inflows, total inflows.
Not the monies that we have somewhere or saved or...
No, the savings are there because there is also a net balance, as at the last count, of over 173 billion net balance on TSA. Yes, agencies are using their accounts, monies are coming in, monies are going, but I repeat, these are not free funds that we can absolutely say they are meant for funding 2016 budget.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no other clarification on TSA. I hope that our...
No, there is really need for us to also at this fora inform Nigerians that we will, like as it is always normal with any policy, we'll continue to roll out awareness, we create an awareness and we enlighten Nigerians on what they need to do. And our critical partners will also engage them at different levels. We issue treasury circulars, guidelines on TSA. This we will continue to do. And at each level, we'll inform Nigerians of the situation on TSA and indeed on any other policy we are running as an institution of government.
How has this TSA helped government pull together its resources?
Yeah.
Because it seems even at that time, before the TSA, I know the TSA didn't just start this year or last year.
Yeah.
It's been on for quite a while, but the implementation is what we started seeing. Government accounts were just everywhere. Government did not even have an account of itself, did not know how much it had, scattered over the DMBs.
That was the tragedy before the TSA. There were more than 1,000, over 2,000 accounts spread all over deposit money banks belonging to agencies of government, some of which were actually hidden. When I say hidden, the agencies themselves who own the accounts could not know that, they have such accounts. And the beauty of TSA is all these accounts have been pulled out together, and we are now in a position to see at a single touch of button what is the position, overall position of cash resources of government. We've been able to achieve the objective largely. Of course, there are issues. I must say that we noticed some infractions, and this is the right avenue to tell Nigerians and to sound some warning to our partners, namely the deposit money banks, that on no account should any government funds, any agency's funds, which ordinarily should be on TSA, remain with them. We have noticed some infractions. I said some of these infractions have been looked into and will issue out necessary sanctions at appropriate time.
Have you issued out any sanction on any of the erring deposit money banks?
We are investigating the issues. We can't jump onto issuing sanctions without fully understanding what has happened and the issues involved. But definitely there will be some sanctions as contained in the Treasury circular guideline of TSA. I only urge MDAs also to comply with the TSA instruction and directive of Mr. President. It is high time we realize that we can no longer continue business as usual. The intention of TSA is to pull resources together. Yes, we know there are some donor funds which ordinarily are not supposed to be on TSA. All such we have been reconciling and giving back to where they are supposed to be. We also appreciate that there are some PPP programs whereby the funds are not strictly public funds. And we don't target anything which is not public fund. TSA only targets public funds, and that is where we stand. And agencies, no matter the degree and length of time it takes them to hide such accounts, we will fish them out, and government will take necessary sanction against such agencies
But
and their collaborators among the banking industry.
How has the compliance level been with the MDAs, really?
No, generally...
Because it seemed that it looked very alien to them.
Of course, there were the earlier initial teething issues of not knowing really what are the outcomes, what are going to be the consequences. There are no consequences rather than fully resources together and movement of funds from one custody to another custody, namely from deposit money banks to CBN. The teething problems we had initially are being overcome largely, but I said there are infractions and they have been noticed. I'm emphasizing on these issues of infractions and advising banks to voluntarily surrender such public funds without further delay. We'll keep engaging with stakeholders. The CBN is largely helping us because they open the sub-accounts, they keep them, they manage them, and
so
we're grateful for that.
So the TSA funds are domiciled with the Central Bank?
Yeah, with Central Bank of Nigeria, not in the Treasury House. Yeah, to the extent that we are only managers representing government as a treasury and making sure that the funds are accounted for and that there is a full transparency in the system. So that is all, I think.
How are we managing this economic weather that is seemingly not too favorable, especially with all prices going down? You know, in terms you're in charge of receipts, payments of government. Of course, you are the chief accounting officer, number one accountant in the country. You know, so how are we managing this economic weather? Yeah,
we are facing great challenges. This is one of the greatest, hardest time in our economic and political history. The revenue accruing to government has gone down by about 65%. Sources of revenue, one way or the other, are not being fully harnessed, which is now with this advent of TSA, we're trying to do more in terms of generation. Government on its own has identified the need to diversify other sources from the area of solid mineral, taxation, and other viable avenues really are being harnessed rigorously. The agencies charged with revenue collection are doing their best within the, under the circumstances they find themselves. But I must say that TSA and all other reform initiatives we put in place are geared towards addressing some of these revenue challenges, because in the end, they will bring about efficiency in service delivery, efficiency in public expenditure, cutting and reducing excesses and leakages and so on and so forth. Generally, we are at a very critical time. Like I said, in our economic history, all hands must be on deck. Not just at federal level, the states also need to do more in terms of fiscal efficiency, transparency in management of resources, harnessing the vast potentials of revenue generation, i.e. the IGR and so on and so forth. So we need to move the economy. We need to do more. Government, the federal government is doing its best. All other stakeholders, the state government, the local government themselves, other private organizations within the economy, operating within the economy, also need to do more. So we had to really have to be on deck to move the economy forward.
Now, you've said a lot of things, and let me try to keep up with your answers in terms of the government needs to do more. We need to harmonize, especially now that we're passing through this tough period, that government has lost revenue over 65%, and that's not easy. Of course, if you take a look at the price of oil, I think today is selling for around $48 a barrel. How do you, or is there a collaboration, especially with your office, with the state governments? Because I do know that the states too have their own accountant general, so to speak, FAC every month, which you're also part of. How are we going to see the states adjusting? How are you collaborating with the states governments to be able to get the accounts in order?
Yes, at policy level, there are high-scale discussion with the state executives to address some of these issues. Some of these policy issues are just on the table. They have been discussed. The Honorable Minister of Finance is doing a lot in that direction. I wouldn't want to talk much about that because it's not finally rolled out. I believe at our own level, at FAC level, we engage the state, we engage the commissioners of finance that always come monthly. We tell them the beauty of the reform initiatives, the need to be to ensure fiscal sustainability, to prepare their accounts, annual accounts monthly, to adopt some of these initiatives, the IFSAs, the 3SA, and so on and so forth. And quite a number of states are doing that. But we notice also some states are far behind, and there is need for them to do a lot more. A lot of international partners have come up to assist them, and we get them engaged. And I believe they should do more to be in tandem with where the federal government is. And we have to be seen as one single economy rather than the federal government different, the states different. Yeah.
Let's talk about a few reforms, which the TSA is also part of. You've talked about the TSA. I know there's the IPSAS, there's the IPSAS, there's the GIFMIS, there's GIF, MIS, a whole lot. Accountants, you have all these words that you cluster together and use one word, So can you just take us through, especially IPSAS, the payroll system, integrated?
The IPPS, that is integrated personnel financial payroll system, IPPS. Yes, that one actually started some years back, about 3 years or so. And the aim is really to bring all federal government agencies onto one platform as far as payment of their monthly salaries are concerned. We are all aware of what characterized the first in terms of corruption and inefficiencies and clear diversion of personnel costs for some other uses. So IPPS aims at eliminating that, and indeed largely that has been eliminated. There are still issues because even with the bringing on board a number of agencies, we still discover that there are some elements of, I don't want to use the word ghost worker, but I would be careful to say we notice some names which ordinarily shouldn't be on the payroll of federal government, and they are being weeded out gradually. The Honorable Minister of Finance set up a special project unit which is addressing that. And even the platform, the technology driving the IPPS function is being reviewed. It will be enhanced very soon to accommodate more agencies, particularly the security agencies, the military, the paramilitary, the police, and so on. And that is about to be done.
I understand verification is going on.
Yes, verification is going on in some selected centers, and it will go on nationwide in due course. That has been achieved, and we want before the end of the year to enroll as much as possible based on the instruction of the federal government.
How did we get to that point that we're noticing that we have, you don't want to use the word, but that's the word that people understand it with, ghost workers?
No, it has to be ascertained, and when you say ghost worker, really you have to be careful.
Is there really a ghost that is a worker?
You have to identify who is the ghost worker, who is benefiting from that element of salary that is being seen as being ghost. Identify, maybe subject the individual or staff to process of law. So the moment you give a definition, it means we must be very careful with this of word. And therefore, there are names, obviously, and action is being taken. Appropriate
is it
agencies.
those that have passed away or those that, what actually characterize these people?
No, there are people benefiting from that. It could be somebody taking double salary, a staff of, it could be somebody outside, even non-employee of federal government. So all these need to be defined, and appropriate agencies have been briefed fully, and they are taking the issue on as they come.
So you could see, have a Nancy Ilo like in Ministry of Finance, have a Nancy Ilo in NAFDAC.
These are some of the issues we observe,
yeah.
and they have to be really examined, cross-checked, confirmed, and appropriate agency doing their job of investigation. Yeah.
Okay, if we're still going through the verification process, because I know that verification is still on, especially around security agencies
and paramilitary.
So with what you're saying right now, we will still see a more efficient payroll system?
Yes, yes.
And would know how much
definitely the overall salaries? Effect of this by the end of the exercise, and when we bring everybody on board, we will even see savings. Obviously, there will be savings. The moment we weed out apparent names which are not supposed to be on payroll, and that is the objective of government, to reduce cost of governance, to ensure efficiency and curtail leakages and reduce corruption. And that is the aim of the whole exercise. So it will continue. It is an ongoing thing. And in addition, the Honorable Minister will also roll out some other very important key initiatives to ensure efficiency in the overall setup, in the overall economic performance and setup. It's not just about payroll. There is efficiency unit, which is also there and is being manned by competent personnel. And I believe they will soon begin to visit agencies and MDS of government. We also hope that the state governments can also replicate some of these initiatives. Like I said, federal government should not be seen in isolation of states and local governments. No matter what the federal government will do, if states do not do that, do not replicate that, it may not achieve the overall objective we intend to see finally.
So at the end of the day, when we put all those things together, when we are done, we'll definitely see savings like what
there
you
will
said.
be savings, there will be great savings.
Because I heard the Honorable Minister Kemi Adeosunde say some time ago, not recently, that Nigeria will expend about 165 billion naira to pay salaries monthly. So,
yes.
So perhaps at the end of the day, to be less than that. Because how sustainable is even that 165 billion naira?
It is no longer sustainable. And that is why we embark on these initiatives to check and to audit the system. And it's not just to continuously audit the system, because it is this continuous audit that will make people sit on their toes and do the right thing.
Now let's talk about IPSAS. You know, so many acronyms. Yes. You know, what is that about?
International Public Sector Accounting Standards. This is, you see, Nigeria is not living in an island of its own. It's a global partner. We are operating on a global space. We cannot just be seen to be an economy unto ourselves. The International Public Sector Accounting Standard are a set of accounting standards that are evolved to be applied by governments and public sector entities. And therefore, Nigeria keyed in. We started sometimes in 2014 with cash basis of accounting. We now transited to, from January this year to accrual basis. Committees have been set up at federal level, at agency level, at state government level, at local government level, towards real implementation of IPSAS as a program and policy of government. We partner with state government. At federal level, we don't have problem. There could be issues here and there with MDAs. I also use this forum to urge MDAs and accounting officers to give IPSAS implementation the desired attention it deserves, because it's one of the key indicators through which Nigerian economy will be rated by our international partners, by our international collaborators, because we, like I said, we are not operating in an island. And it's one of the elements of key good governance indicators. So when they come, when they're assessing us, these are the initiatives and reforms they look at. And therefore, we need to do much more. The state government needs to do much more. our office, the Office of Accountant General of the Federation, is always open to states to come forward if they have issues in implementation.
Yes, I was coming to
we
that.
will assist them to give them staff that will, they don't need to pay anything. We are there for them.
Okay, to help them.
To help them achieve, come up to the level that is required. Because some states actually are left behind and they are lagging. And it is discouraging to see that a state is not implementing IPSAS at this stage of our economy. There is part of what, in fact, even the government itself, in giving out some of these grants, bailouts, and whatever, is part of the things federal government will look at. Yes, what are you doing to imbibe and ensure implementation of reforms? Yeah.
In financial reporting.
In financial, public financial reforms, reporting. Some state governments, I understand, have not prepared accounts for 3 years. This cannot be in line with reality of today. It doesn't show transparency. It doesn't show accountability. It doesn't show openness. Accounts, at least of states, must be prepared. And these are the key things, like I said, we'll be looking at in assessing states to assist them in any area of need they may come up with.
Let's talk about the Public Finance Reform Program. That is a PFRP.
Some of these programs actually are interwoven. Some are subsets of another. The Public Finance Economic Reform Program is the foundation upon which all other reform programs emerge. And the Office of Accountant General of the Federation is the driving institution. We are doing our best, and the issues are there, challenges are there. We cannot deny challenges, but then we must live with reality, a reality of lack of resources, a reality of lack of money.
How are you coping with the lack of resources at this time, even as an office?
Because
it also affects you.
Yeah, it does.
Office,
it does. We are not isolated. We are not isolated, but we are an agency of government like any other ministry of government. We have to make do with the little resources, ensure efficiency, block leakages, remove wastages, and ensure reduction of inefficiencies. Ensure full utilization.
In fact, your office should even be in charge of cutting down.
We are.
Because when we talk of accountants,
what you need to do, maybe after this,
down a lot.
After this interview, come forward, see what we've been able to achieve with what we have been given. I would like other agencies to come and see what we are doing, even to seek for consultancy. At no fee, anyway. When I use consultancy, somebody may think it is.
You should charge,
No.
This time,
we are there for them. This is Office of Accountant General of the Federation, and we need to assist the the Federation, not just the federal government. Whoever has challenge as a ministry, as an agency, on what to do to curtail leakages, to block leakages, reduce wastages, ensure efficiency, we are inviting them. We are available.
Okay, you've heard it from the Accountant General that he's available, his office is available. Let's talk about the GIF-MIS.
GIFMIS.
Yes, just pardon me. Let me just call it like
that. I know,
that.
We have a lot of acronyms.
Acronyms, they are just too much.
There are too many. But they are interwoven, and they play a complementary role. The GIFMIS is also a platform which we started some 2-3 years back also. Hitherto, the capital releases and recurrent releases of agencies were given to them, and they take such monies into their respective bank accounts with commercial banks. With coming on board of GIFMIS, we now say, look, hey, here is a platform being managed by Office of Accountant General of the Federation, and it is wave-based. We will link you up. It is no longer going to be released and put money in a commercial bank. You will have your money. We create a window for you. You bring up your users. We enroll them. So you run your business through GIFMIS. And like I said again, the funds are with Central Bank of Nigeria. So these reforms are interwoven. You can see it's just an element, an aspect of TSA, which had been started, and which we are now ensuring that it is effective in terms of implementation. And the beauty of it is you hear no agency, no institution or ministry crying that, look, we are finding it difficult to operate. They are operating normally. from the comfort of their office, using real-time online thing, and here we are.
So the system is automated and
it's automated. It's web-based,
ICT-driven,
and you know, no issues. Even if there is an issue of connectivity, that may be unique to a particular agency, but they can come forward. If it is an overall global thing which is affecting the system, they can come back to our office and ensure that we assist them. We will assist them. But if it is an ICT issue, connectivity issue, internet issue, particular, unique to a ministry, they should be able to solve their own issues with their ICT team, I think, which is okay.
Okay. Let's talk about the ELGP. Another.
I thought we spoke about that.
Okay.
ELGP,
okay.
Which I said is the foundation.
Yes, is the foundation.
Yeah.
Now, if we are taking a look at the whole system right now, the public accounting system, how would you assess it? Especially, yes, the public accounts system, how would you assess it?
With the reforms being rolled out, with the implementation of IPSAS, with implementation of TSA, the aim of any public accounting or account system or public finance management system will be to ensure efficiency. And as a treasury, we have officers, DFAs, all over the agencies. What I enjoin them, I use this forum, I use this opportunity to enjoin them, to tell them, to urge them, to make sure that priority programs of their agencies are clearly mapped out, are clearly listed. This is era of scarcity of resources. The limited resources that will be given must be used judiciously towards priorities. And priorities in this sense, in fact, if I can use the term used by even the federal government itself, priority will be capital, because that is where you see development. Not recurrent, which is just consumption.
Consumption.
Yeah. So priority programs should be listed, and resources should be harnessed and deployed towards priority areas, so that Nigerians begin to see that, yes, 2016 budget has been kick-started. At ministry level, we don't have problem. We have a very supportive Honorable Minister of Finance. Last night, up to around 10 o'clock or thereabout, even around 11 or so, we were at cash management meeting, all to identify priority areas of agencies, of government, as a whole, and to deploy resources. That is what I think not just the ministries, but even states should be doing. This is the time that we must harness our resources, make best use of them, ensure prudence in public expenditure, ensure efficiency, ensure blockage of leakages, ensure that we achieve delivery of social goods and services to Nigerians. Nigerians deserve all this. And again, I must commend the federal government. Forget about my position as an Accountant General of the Federation.
Because some people may
this
say
is the
that
first time we have 1.6 trillion deployed towards capital.
Capital spending.
2015, it was 560 or 70 billion.
Naira.
Yeah. And that is where you see activity. And that is where you grow the economy. And that is where you stimulate economy. And that is why you bring about investment. That is why you bring about activity. And federal government should be commended for that. It has never been like that before. I will not be talking about other social intervention programs, which are there very clearly. And well, go ahead. Let me not.
Okay, but how is your office going to help, especially in the budgeting process?
Well,
1.6 over 1.5 trillion capital spending.
Yes,
current
we are already doing that. Our role as a treasury really is to ensure that the cash backing is there. Cash backing, as and when due, no delay, and we are alive to our responsibility. We know that is key and critical towards implementation of budget. No matter how good a budget looks, if there is no funding, the cash backing is not there, as approved, definitely will go nowhere, and the overall objective may not be achieved. So we are there, and we are sensitizing our staff. We are developing capacities towards that, and I believe we will deliver. God willing, will not fail.
Okay, let's take a few comments coming through from our viewers right now on Twitter. Victor Kolawole says, kudos to the Accountant General
Oh, kudos to me.
Yes,
Thank
kudos.
you, Nancy, for giving this opportunity.
Victor says, kudos to the Accountant General. I want to know if there's any chance for a graduate accountant to come and learn in his office. You're representing accountants, I must tell you.
Yeah.
So that's
part of the initiative being rolled out by the Honorable Minister is to engage accounting firms. And the key cardinal requirement is development of interns. The young Nigerian accountants and other related disciplines being brought to be trained, and we provide a platform for them to be engaged. And that is, again, an initiative that will bring about some form of employment generation. Because once you start them, you don't know the level and extent they will go. It will be on a particular stipend. The program is to be rolled out, and I believe I will not be speaking for the Honorable Minister at this level, but at least it's a good thing. It's a question that I've answered, and we will be doing that. Okay,
so Victor, the Accountant General has answered your question, so you need to keep up with that. Adesanya says, please ask the Accountant General if there is no law that mandates the government of the Federation to prepare and publish audited accounts.
There is a requirement, constitutional requirement, and we are doing that. And we are up to date, up to 2014. When I came on board, even 2012 was not published. We've been able to publish 2012, 2013, and 2014. They are now public documents. They are not any secret. You can go to our website or come to our office to have a copy. We are now in the process of doing finalizing 2014 because we need to get the certification of the Auditor General for the Federation before we release it finally.
Okay, so
we are virtually up to date.
Okay, so
and that is exactly what we will keep doing, because transparency is not just going to be in words; it must be in action. And one of the ways to be transparent is to prepare accounts, and that was exactly what I was urging state governments and states and local governments to do. You can never be tagged transparent when your accounts and financials are not prepared. They are not being made public. Yeah, so we should be up to date.
Okay, Philip says the firewall of the IPs should be made stronger. That's his.
Yeah.
You agree with him?
Yes, I agree with him. I agree with him absolutely, and that is why I'm saying we are going to enhance the technology, make a lot of changes, ensure a lot of controls within the system, and check and cross-check before we do anything in the system. That is a good idea. That is a good advice.
Okay. Samsuna Mohammed says, please ask the Accountant General about unpaid allowances of civil servants like promotion and annual increment allowances. Do you have anything to say about that?
Yes, I know, I'm aware that most of agencies who have backlog of such arrears have made submission to the Budget Office of the Federation. That is being, I believe, being examined, and at appropriate time, government will take a position, because these are liabilities. Naturally, they'll be attended to. But we have to know that we are cash constrained. We must apply tactics and strategy to address some of these issues. It may be in phases and in installmental basis. Not as a whole, you pick the whole thing and address, because funding constraint is really there, and we need to address things gradually.
Finally, as we end the program, what do you want to end? What do you want to end with, especially for our viewers that are watching, the #1 accountants in the country? I guess that graduate accountants, or even those studying accountancy in the universities, will be looking at you and saying, I really want to be like this man one day. You know, what do you have to say to them and to the nation at this time that we're passing through some turbulence?
Well, it's good for young Nigerians to aspire to any position, including that of presidency. Yeah, it is their right. It is their country. Coming back to what I will tell Nigerians, I would rather be talking to my colleagues, whoever finds himself in a position of authority, in position of leadership, to imbibe the spirit and objective of the federal government. Nigeria is really facing a lot of challenges in terms of inflow of revenue. We must use all available opportunities and resources to harness the untapped resources we have. we must build capacity. We must realize that Nigeria, more than ever before, needs attention of those in position of authority. We must lead by example. We must lead modest and prudent life. We must leverage on the posture, integrity, and goodwill of Mr. President. He is giving us the leadership, he is giving us the lead, and we must follow as it is. Finally, I wish Nigerians a very successful 1 year of democracy. Am I right?
Mr. President's anniversary.
Anniversary.
Yes, 1 year in office.
Yes, and we will keep doing our best as the treasury of the nation. We will protect the system. We will ensure integrity, accountability, and we will assist in all that it takes to make our economy bounce back.
Many thanks to you, sir, for coming on today's edition of the program and chatting with me. I hope to host you again very soon.
It's my pleasure. I wish it will be tomorrow.
Okay. Many thanks to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very
Nancy,
much for coming
I'm grateful for being with you. It has been an interesting interview, and this is my first time of being with AIT.
Yes.
I look forward to be here again and again.
Thank you. I would always be happy to host you anytime.
Thank you.
We're just a phone call away, you know.
I will be there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, I've been speaking with the chief accountant, the Chief Accounting Officer of the Federation, that's the Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris. We've talked about TSA, IPs, IPSAS,
yes.
GFIS, and all these reforms, you know. But of course, like you heard from him, the public accounts of 2014 will soon be made public, so you can actually get to see that. Many thanks also for your tweets, for Nigerians watching and actually ask questions. Thank you very much. And like I always say, be the best you can be and be the change that you want to see. I am Nancy Ilo. God bless Nigeria. Bye now.
Bye.